Just come back to the point that you just made there about left-wing academics. Now, you've cited this left-wing, but you called him brutally honest, US law professor, Professor Jonathan Turley, saying, and I quote, "This case would be easily dismissed outside a jurisdiction like New York, where Bragg can count on highly motivated judges and jurors." And James has just made the point that the number who vote Republican in the New York are minuscule. But Turley further says, although it may not be politically popular, this is a left-winger, the case is legally pathetic. The district attorney is struggling to twist state laws to effectively prosecute a federal case long ago rejected by the Justice Department against Trump over his payment of hush money to a former stripper, Stormy Daniels. James, I've quoted earlier tonight Victor Davis Hanson, who says that serious charges, and you've made this point, but they need to be made again, could have been levelled separately against Hillary and Bill Clinton, but they weren't. Didn't Bill Clinton hand over hush money to women?
Well, he did. And, you could, and it's pretty patently clear that charges could be brought against Biden. And what happens is once you go down this road,
yes,
the pressure on Republicans to prosecute Democrats will be enormous. And you'll get into this sort of third world tit for tat where you use the criminal justice system against your political opponents. Look, the Democrats have been out to get Trump. They loathe the man. The whole Russia collusion thing, nothing came of it because there was nothing there. Then they had the documents that Trump had taken home. He can declassify documents as a former president just by standing up and saying, I declassify them. Whereas President Biden was vice president when he took the documents, and vice presidents can't do that. So, I mean, they couldn't then go after Trump on the documents. They thought they would get him on January 6th, but it turns out, there was almost nothing there. So now they're reduced to trying to get him for a bookkeeping offense related to campaign finance laws, where it's not even clear there's any offense at all because he used his own money. He didn't use campaign money to pay off Stormy Daniels. All American politicians are paying people off all the time. And as you say, Bill Clinton was paying them off for very serious allegations. Trump just wanted to shut up a woman he'd slept with who was a porn star. So again, if that's your level of anger, there's all sorts of American politicians.
I mean, you did right. We're electing politicians, not pastors, aren't we? But as a professor of law, you're saying that this is flat-out politics and very dangerous politics, that, your words, once you let Pandora open this box, it's no easy task to shut it ever again. So just repeat that point that you've made, that if the Democrats do this and throw all Democrat norms out the window, then the only effective response is to do likewise back, because the only winning strategy involves reciprocity. The other side gives it back with plenty of interest.
Yeah, well, here's another example. Whatever you think of the filibuster, the Democrats got rid of it when it came to appointing judges, except for Supreme Court judges. So when the Republicans came in, they got rid of it for Supreme Court judges. I mean, you can't expect one side of politics to just sit there and play by Marcus of Queensberry rules when the other side is being, throwing these norms out the window. My prediction is there'll be a lot of pressure on Republican district attorneys to start indicting Democrats. And, if you don't think that's going to happen, now I admit that conservative politicians tend to have the backbone of an amoeba, and, they tend not to have any fight in them at all. But in the U.S., there are a few that have a bit of fight, and this is not going to end happily.
Happily. Well, just talk about ending then. Okay, tell us, where's this going to finish up for Donald Trump?
Hard to say. His popularity has gone up amongst Republican voters. So even before these charges, Trump was leading amongst Republican. So here's my take. I think that in a general election, if Trump died tomorrow, DeSantis would do better against the Democrat nominee. DeSantis would do better. But DeSantis has to win the nomination against Trump, and that's not easy to do. Donald Trump has almost 50% of the base that would vote for him. They'd walk over glass for him. And so in order to beat Trump, the only person with even a remote chance is DeSantis. And DeSantis, he can't afford other people to go into the nomination fight because everybody who goes in is taking votes away from DeSantis. The Trump base is not leaving. And so it's very difficult to beat Trump for the nomination. And again, I think DeSantis could conceivably do it because of how well he handled the pandemic. But I don't think he will, because I just think it's so hard to beat Trump, and you can't really attack Trump.